Okay, we're gonna put this flat Earth thing to bed because it needs to die. The Earth is round. That has been proven beyond a shadow of a reasonable doubt. Scientists have known for thousands of years that the Earth is round. We have thousands upon thousands of satellites and other objects in orbit around the globular Earth. I mean, how the hell do you think you get, your GPS, your 4G, things like that? They're from satellites that are in orbit around Earth. And the final nail in the coffin here, at least what I'm going to use anyway, is the flight path of airplanes. Specifically, I'm using one flight in particular, Air New Zealand Flight 27, which is a direct flight from Chicago O'Hare International Airport to Auckland, New Zealand. Now, and I'm going to use several different flight plans here because they all match up differently. Well, not match up differently, but they vary slightly, but they're still in the same general ballpark. So, like, if you look at this is the most recent flight of Air New Zealand Flight 27. It's from Chicago to Auckland. You can see it's it's a little curved, but it's a more or less straight pattern. Like, I did this on Paint earlier, just kind of do it. But if you guys want to take a screenshot of it and do it yourself, but a straight line here from Auckland to O'Hare passes roughly through the southern tip of Baja California here, and that more or less follows this shape here. Passes like right over Los Angeles, goes through Iowa, Nebraska, Colorado, Utah, right over Las Vegas, right over Los Angeles, and then out over the Pacific to Auckland. And then if we go back to other flights, this is the second most recent. This is the second most recent flight of Flight 27. This is a lot straighter and actually almost does intersect over the southern tip of Baja California. So it's a much straighter line. You can see where that goes. And if we go back even further, I haven't looked at the third one, but I guarantee you it's going to be roughly the same path. And it pretty much is. That's almost identical to the flight on the 21st. And you go back even further, Sunday, February 16th. It's almost the same path as the most recent that it took. Flew over Chicago, Iowa, southern tip of Nebraska, Colorado, went through Arizona instead of going over Las Vegas, but that looks like it was probably due to weather, so but again, these are mostly relatively straight paths through either the southern tip of California or the southern tip of Baja California going over Mexico. Now, here, hold on, let me cut to it. There we go. Here is the flat Earth projection model. Auckland is right here. Here's the northern tip of New Zealand, and here's Chicago. Now, if the Earth were flat, you could fly a straight line from Chicago to Auckland, and that wouldn't be that big of a deal. But if you draw a straight line from Chicago to Auckland, these are rough estimations. I can't really see the exact detail too terribly well. But if you were to draw a direct line from Chicago to Auckland, the line passes through like Oregon, Washington, or like the southern tip of British Columbia, somewhere around here. It goes way the hell north instead of down through Mexico and through Baja or through the southern tip of California. Because let me show you what that would look like as a straight line from Chicago down through the southern tip of California. You would miss New Zealand. You would miss New Zealand entirely and fly into Antarctica. Are you going to tell me that, that the aircraft is going to go from Chicago, fly around, and then, turn on a flat Earth? If the Earth was flat, it could just take that straight line back from Chicago to Auckland, fly over British Columbia, and, that would be the long and short of it. But that's not what we see. Like, that's not what we see at all. We see a path, excuse me, I see a path that cuts through, like I said, Iowa. This actually goes through Kansas. Maybe the northern tip of Missouri, Kansas, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. It doesn't go up, and it doesn't go all the way up through here and then come around. So, just on that one flight plan alone, that completely, debunks the flat Earth theory. I don't even know why I'm having to do that. Actually, I didn't have to do this, but I don't know why we still have to, say in the year 2020, I don't know why we still have to prove that the Earth is round. The Earth is round. If you were to get into a rocket and launch yourself into space, which I don't recommend unless you're, unless you're actually a trained astronaut and flying on either NASA or SpaceX or something. You're flying, with actual, rocket scientists who know what the hell they're doing. But I wouldn't recommend flying on something you've made yourself. I mean, we've already got proof of that this last week. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make light of that, but if you were to go into space right now, you would see a globe Earth. You would see a ball. There is no doubt of that anymore. Now that we've been to space, we've seen it. And the flight plans of aircraft have to take into account a globular Earth. I was actually going to use a different flight plan, but unfortunately, that flight plan makes sense both on the globular Earth and the flat Earth model, because I was going to use All Nippon Airways flight 7 from San Francisco to Narita International Airport in Tokyo, which I have a friend who has been to Japan several times, and that's the path he takes from San Francisco to Narita and back. And that flight plan has to go up towards Alaska, quote unquote, towards Alaska, and then come back down the coast of Russia and things like that into Tokyo. And unfortunately, that path does make sense on a flat Earth, because that's pretty much almost what we see is is a straight line on almost that exact same flight path from San Francisco to Narita. So I had to find a different flight plan, which is where I came up with Air New Zealand Flight 27, because that flight plan does not make sense on a flat Earth. So hopefully that puts this well and truly to bed. It won't, but I can be optimistic. So if you guys liked this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I may do, more videos like this, but I just wanted to kind of throw this together, see what happens, and, whatever. So like I said, if you like this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.